Yeah.
Take 7.
Good morning from the ridge.
Morning.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff.
I've been up for a long time.
Wow,
Did
same
morning chores.
Story every day.
Worked in the greenhouse, made breakfast, cleaned the kitchen, did the dishes. I've been working on laundry all day, and the guys are just getting out of bed.
Not true. Been out of bed long enough to eat breakfast and poop.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that much, I
Check
guess.
out this cute outfit today.
Some days, and Jessica reminded me that I needed to work on my fashion a little bit. I have no fashion. I wear whatever I want to wear, and
Like fashion matters. Get out of here.
it does. Sometimes a woman just wants to feel like not a bum. So,
I like feeling like a bum. It makes me pretty.
it's obviously work specific. So today is a day that we are just going to wrap up some loose ends. Like I said, I've been plugging away at laundry. I'm not dedicating a whole day to it. I'm throwing in a load and changing it as I come back to the house. But I've got to work on the flower beds in front of the tiny house because I've waited way too long to transplant all of those, especially the hostas from Tennessee. And then I'll be working on filling the tubs for the garden, working in the greenhouse. I have so many domestics to do. I have chicken to prep and dress. I have so much to do.
So it's going to be just kind of a random day. Jake and I are going to work on tying up a few things on the tiny house in between hauling. You know, right now we bought bags of topsoil.
Which I'm going to need.
But we're going to need a lot more than what we're willing to get on bags. So
Waiting on
got a call in. Guy's supposed to call me back about getting a load delivered, which we've been back and forth on it. We called a couple other places, and yeah, what he's got is definitely more efficient, but
believe what they're charging down here for dirt.
Without us having a way of kind of processing our own soil, because it's so, even the topsoil's got just enough clay in it that it doesn't like to break up very well. So I don't know, we talked about in one of the last videos of getting a cultivator attachment for the weed whipper. Like, obviously it's not going to do a lot, but it'll, for what we want to use it for in, say, the flower beds and in the, you know, it's something that Mama can manage. Hopefully. I don't know. We haven't tried it. It's not, I mean, I looked up the specs. The thing's fairly lightish. I mean, compared to a regular full-blown rototiller.
Well, what would you be doing that would be so uber important that you couldn't help me?
Nothing.
Okay. See? Perfect. Doesn't
Seemed
matter
like
if
a
I can
loaded
help it.
question, though.
Okay, might have been a little bit.
Yeah. But the big thing was not being able to use a full-size rototiller. I mean,
It wouldn't do any good.
if we could do straight into the ground very consistent, then all right, maybe a rear tine for the tractor would be great, but I don't think we're going to get that much area. So I don't know, the future will tell, but for right now we're just kind of thinking small and something we can easily lift up, throw in the top of a bucket or a raised bed, and just
If you
break
guys have
some of that soil
one,
up.
and they're the kind that attach to the weed whackers, what's our brand?
The Ryobi.
The Ryobi.
Yeah.
If y'all have one and you use it and you like it, share with us, because we don't want to waste the money if it's not going to be a worthy attachment. So if you know anything about them or if you've used them, let us know in the comments below, because I don't want to spend the money if it's a wasted piece of equipment. So, but oh, and the other thing, I'm trying out my new boots today. Yeah, and they're comfortable. They're light. They're brown. They're not black. They don't
I'm glad she likes them, and hopefully they work out for her. They look completely uncomfortable to me.
They're not. They're comfortable, and
they remind me of the just solid rubber barn boots that are good for about 10 minutes or get the job done, and then.
Well, we'll see.
So
those
we'll
that know
find
me
out.
know I have funky feet. It's a birth defect thing, but we'll try them out, and I'll give you an honest review. But I think they're gonna be great because I'm gonna be working in dirt all day, and there's no laces to get dirty. I can hose them off when I'm done. And they're light. They're way lighter than even my work boots.
I'm gonna hose you off when you're done.
All right, well, we'll get at it. We'll catch footage from both sides and just kind of throw together. Not every day can be it's still going to be a productive day, but not every day is a super exciting titled day because we may spread ourselves between different things. So that's what we're doing. We got to make a run to town too. Got to fit that in. And then maybe one of my friends might be coming over. We'll see. She's not feeling, she smashed her hand. So Debbie, if you're watching, I hope you're feeling better. But we'll go from there.
All right. See you in a bit.
Okay, so first things first for me is I was kind of like placing things everywhere, so I got to pull it all out on both sides, lay all of it out, and then I can lay down the landscaping fabric and decide where I'm going to want all of the stuff. So once I do that, then I can start cutting in. I'm a little late getting these hostas planted. I really wanted to utilize all of them and kind of spread them out along the walkway. They may be a little stringy this first year because ideally you'd want to be transplanting these way sooner than now. So they may look a little stringy this year. That's okay. Next year they will blossom out and just be gorgeous. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. Okay, so I think I have my initial layout and the way I'm going to like it. Amazingly, the hostas are not too far bloomed that they're not going to be stringy or leggy, but so beautiful. I'm loving it. So now I need to go up and get my landscape lights out of, something poked me, out of the camper, out of the bay, so I can get those set as well. I still need to go over to the greenhouse. I have those hanging baskets of snapdragons, so that'll go, I don't know, maybe over here. Ran out of landscape fabric, so we're gonna have to get some more there. And then I'm gonna do the white alyssums in between all of the hostas. They're old seeds and they're the cheap seeds, so if they grow, they grow. If they don't, they don't. And then I also have some gladiolas to plant, so I'll be doing that, and then we'll have to come back in and mulch them all. I'm gonna go get the rest of the plants. We'll get them laid and we'll see where we're at from there. Bye. All right, so I thought, while I was coming in the greenhouse, so these snapdragons right here, they were on the 75% off. So they were $12.98, and they were put on there just because they were dead. So I've had them in here for a couple days, nursing them back to health, and I top fed them as well as bottom watered in a tub, and they have really just done amazing. So I think I'm ready to go ahead and take those on out and get those hung. And looks like I need to I do want to get some of these out, start getting them hardened off. So I did see they're already growing because I buried these up to the stems. So this is my first transplant of the tomatoes. So anyway, I just thought I would show that to you guys, that just because it looks dead, I mean, obviously, clearly if it's dead, but you can bring them back. And all these new buds these are all gonna bloom and just be beautiful. And it's nice, it's lush, it's not even the remotest dried out. So the key will be making sure that it maintains this soil composition of water in there. So anyway, that's what I got. Why do you do that? All right, so we're gonna call it a day, and we still have to run to town, and I still have laundry that's cycling through, but not gonna reveal the garden in front of the tiny house yet because I want to mulch it, but it looks phenomenal. But I've been working in the greenhouse all day as well, and then I brought all the squash out and cucumbers and stuff to harden them off, and holy wow, just a couple hours outside and that squash went crazy. There's a couple little sad looking ones with it that day that it got too hot in the greenhouse, and the same way with the cucumbers, so I brought them out and they're looking great too, except for of course the few that, you know, are kind of scorched. And then I think these are out for good. So the dill, and I did a double planting there, so I do have some new starts coming up. Cilantro, I planted some more of those. Oregano's not doing anything. So then in here, I went ahead and I did repotting. So I repotted all of the spaghetti squash because they were I had them in those little yogurt cups that didn't have any holes in the bottoms. And then all of the tomatoes that were looking a little leggy, I went ahead and repotted, and they're already looking great. I can't believe it. But I've got big mamas, I've got cherries, Roma, tons of Romas. I mean, all these Romas, and they should have really great root systems because I planted the roots. I mean, they're right up to their leaves. And then these are all the cantaloupe that sprung up out of the recycled dirt. So I put 2 to a pot in there.
Yep, that was our day. We got our last piece. Let me see if I can sneak over and last piece of plywood siding put on. So that's very nice. We're happy about that. So that is now finished off. So all we have left is the trim. That's it for today. We got nothing else for you. You're gonna have to come back to see more, I guess. So all right, we'll see you. Well, good morning. This is so cool. My bucket full of fire starter, but I don't know if I'd videoed where we finally got it all. I mean, just check out. It's starting to be not far of a view because we're starting to get leaves and stuff. So, but just that little bit of rain is starting to really pop some of the grasses. I mean, albeit they're weed grasses, but yeah, it's kind of greening things up around here. We've just coming off of our longest stretch since the new year, and almost really since we moved here, that we haven't had some sort of rain or precipitation of some sort. So today's gonna be an oddball day. We're gonna get that cleaned up in there. Once I can get some of that cleaned up, stuff taken out that doesn't need to be in there, we can start setting electrical boxes. Oh, where I was going, because somebody said I have a lot of squirrel moments. Yesterday was our day of, we say relaxation, but for us it's kind of a retail therapy. We'd seen some yard sales that we wanted to go hit up, and so we're like, hey, we'll just drive through town. Not as many as we thought there would be. Did pick up a few treasures, and one of the good things was I had messaged a guy on Marketplace about some heavy gauge wire, so I can actually run power down to this building. We've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because, oh, yeah, we have a small fortune going into the ground around this place to power it all up. So the original 2 roof lines, which I guess if I turned it around, you've got this one and that one. They're the original roof lines. We're trying to save that metal just because it does look cool, and partly because I'm just too lazy to tear it off. The right thing to do would be tear it off, rebox everything in, yeah, blah blah blah. Well, I'm not doing that right now. It's not leaking, and if it's not leaking, then it falls in that category. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think we settled we're gonna do sheetrock on the interior walls. It's just, we've cost analysis, talked it out. We'd really like to go with wood, but not having our mill up, not having, you know, like, we need to get in it. And to get in it for now means sheetrock. And if we decide later on that we want to tear that out or just cover it up completely with new wood, we'll figure that out later. All right, I've rambled on enough about this stuff, but we're gonna do our cleanup and go from there. That's what we're gonna do. Yep. Okay. We'll get doing it. What?
Oh. Well, I just wanted to show off the greenhouse. So.
Do
yeah.
dance.
So I just had to get a visual here. I know that I bought the plants, or the flowers, I guess, but I walk in here and see all of the green. It's just so beautiful. I don't even have words. And plants in every stage of life.
We got these yesterday at one of the shops we went to in our shopping adventure.
And then some 50% off plants that I'm saving. These were also 50%. I paid 99 cents a piece for each of these. But yeah, everything is really, I'm gonna do some potting today, and I do need to water. I'm not gonna take them outside because we have a huge storm coming and it could potentially have hail. I don't want to damage the plants, so I'm gonna I'm gonna actually plant outside with the new alyssums that I bought. We'll get those in, and once I get those in, then I'll give you all a final reveal of the flower beds out front, because I worked yesterday getting the mulch laid down. We're still a couple bags short on the mulch, but you'll get this, you'll get it. It's beautiful. So now I just had to stop Jason from what he was doing, just because, I mean, a couple $100 in a greenhouse, and this, it's, I don't know, I'm super happy here lately and blessed with just the way everything is turning out. The house, the greenhouse, just all of it.
So all these pots, which Jake and I did go through and filled them, you know, half, 3/4, some of the stuff's loose, with leaves, sticks, twigs. Was trying to clean up in front of the house, so in that cleanup was like, hey, well, if she needs the leaves, we'll do that. And started helping. I'd turn it around, but then that'd be part of the reveal, and Mama'd be ornery at me.
And the tomatoes, so I just repotted these, and it's amazing what just a day or two will do, because these were kind of leggy, and of course you pot them clear up to where the leaves start, and they're already growing beyond. Even like this one is already growing out beyond that, and they're just doing amazing. So I'm actually going to try that with the peppers. I drenched these little poor things. They're doing great too. And these ones, these are a couple days old from repotting, and oh yeah, they're just, everything's just doing really great. It's just exciting.
Okay, back to work. Quit slacking. So today is definitely hard to film, but a couple of the finds that we got yesterday were, she got these two or three sections are stuck together because they're the only ones that have the spiky like grips on the bottom, and they wouldn't come off. So the rest of it has, I think we've got all the poles to, I don't know how big it'll be when it's all together, but it's got a short little gate area for it. So Not 100% sure where that's gonna go. We were just discussing it, and then I was like, oh, I should get the camera. Got us paid a few dollars and got a hose reel and a hose. Got another air compressor. We got another chainsaw, because you never have too many of those. And then of course there's our electrical wire, all 3 strands that I'll need to run from the power pole down to the tiny house. So this is where we're at right now. She's our pathway leading down. Now we've got to work on a first step idea and see if we want it on that edge and then wrap around, or just on this side.
And I named our tree. Our tree is lean on the tree. And he's gonna stick around for about a year, and then we're gonna say goodbye to him.
So, Leon the tree.
Yeah, Leon the tree.
And here's the other side. She still got those. We covered that a little bit ago. She bought. We've got one bag over there, but then we ran out of landscape fabric, so it's gonna wrap around the tree there. But no. Let's see if I back up here.
Now everything was 75% off, the lilies. Those are the only things I paid full price for. And that purple basket was only 50% off, and the alyssums were only 50% off. So I did save those, and then I have some peonies that I also got 50% off. So all in all, I'll have less than $100 in both of these.
Nice. So, I know it doesn't look like much, but we got it cleaned. I've got spots marked now all along the walls. There's a few of them I don't. We were test fitting because this is where our stairway is going to go. But got it nice and clean, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. And then we'll get a light up in there, switch over here. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. A lot of it was just some planning, but you got to plan sometimes-ish. Ooh, that's scary. But yeah, just plotting it out though, because it does make it a little better in the long run. Someone's playing in the dirt again.
Oh, I gotta get these ready. So, last week we had gone up to West Plains and bought 20 tubs, lick tubs, from a private farmer up there. They buy these lick things in the winter for their cows, and then have all these surplus tubs. And so we got each of these for $5. And so what we did was drill holes in the bottom of each tub, which I'm not sure if this one has holes yet. No, so just drilled holes all along the bottom. And then the guys had filled them halfway with leaves and twigs. And then I utilized a lot of the chipper stuff left over from the wood planer to kind of do another layer. We used the bucket of the tractor to load in a bunch of topsoil. How many bags did you do?
I don't know, I didn't count.
I don't know, a lot of bags. And then, so mix that with a bag of peat moss to kind of keep it loose. They did that in the bucket. So then we put all that in the bucket, and then what you see here is the topsoil and the peat. And then I had been saving all of our egg shells and cleaned those and then let them dry, and then I put them in my blender. I have a blender set aside just for like soaps and this kind of stuff. So it adds calcium to the soil. And then the black stuff is the good stuff. That's the cow manure and compost. So there's a scoop of that in each one. So it's probably about that thick of a dirt layer. And we're hoping, you know, for some of those more deeper rooted plants, that we can just add more soil as it goes. So what I'm doing right now, and I purposely spaced all of these tubs apart. This works out great. So I have an aisleway in between here. What I'm doing right now is just kind of working the soil, breaking up the clods, and kind of getting it intermingled so that it's well dispersed. And then we're supposed to get those storms tonight, and getting that rain on them, that's gonna, you know, temper out that compost. Well, I'm telling you all this because it makes sense in my head. I don't have any scientific backing on this. It just sounds right. So the rain will come and it'll kind of commingle everything that we just mixed into the soil, as well as give it a good juicy drink of nature. So I'll come back tomorrow and start planting. And so I will be doing companion planting. Not sure about how all of that is gonna go yet, but I believe that I will be, and I gotta research this. If you know, you know. I don't know when this will come out, probably not until after, so I can't ask for advice. I don't know whether to plant the zucchini on the outside so that as it grows, it kind of starts to shade the more tender tomatoes on the backside, and kind of use that as a natural barrier, which there again, it makes sense in my brain. I don't know whether there's any scientific evidence to prove that. So, but that's what I'm doing now. And then I did plant our first batch of corn. So in here, I did a companion. I'm gonna do what's called a 3 sisters method over here. I don't know, I saw a TikTok on it, so I researched it. It's a Native American thing. So this is where we had the potatoes. I didn't pull up the potatoes. I figured it'll just add to the goodness of the soil, but it's not bad because we'd already fortified it with some better soil and peat moss, and now the composting potatoes. So then I added in some pine shavings, kind of worked it around, wore my shoulders out this morning, beating this with my little cultivator. And then I planted 2 rows of corn down the length, and then I broadcasted all the carrots. So there's carrots in here as well. When the corn gets to be about 3 inches tall, I'm gonna be planting beans all along the bottom, and then I'll also be putting some squash all along the outside as well. That way it's actually, I'll have 4 sisters, but I read that that's okay, but it's a 3 sister method. So I'll be actually growing 4 things in this bed. I don't know if the corn is gonna pop. I guess we'll wait and see, because it is some of the older corn that I bought on clearance. And then down here, I need to put a better load of dirt over on that side. So I'm gonna mound that up, and my watermelons are gonna go there. As long as I can plant them with onions. I gotta research that yet. But with as hot as the sun is down here, I'm trying to save some more of the pine shaving looking cast-offs from the planer as kind of a mulch to kind of protect the dirt and not let it dry out so much. So not only working it in the soil, but also utilizing it on top. I just had to go through and re-water everything because it got, even though I have both doors open, it got really super hot in here today. So
yeah, I'm not going in there.
no, I don't blame you, but see, I need to water these again. But it was supposed to storm all day. So had I known that it wasn't going to, I would have just taken these all outside, and because they do so much better outside. So I'm not going to water them quite yet. I probably won't water them until morning. And we have a fan going.
That's been our day. We're just tinkering around. So I got a few more things to put up. I am looking at the sky, and there's, I don't know, our storms come from that way. I see blue and a little dark. Already passed, this won't matter. I'm no meteorologist, but I don't see it storming right now. We'll find out. See ya.